All right, I'm gonna talk about sculpting mouths today, and I think it's important to notice that my mouth itself, right before I even start, it's rounded through here. Like, it's not I don't know how to describe that really well. It is not flat. Let's see, if I turn it this way, you can see a little bit. Like, what I'm saying is that this in the mouth, the area below the mouth, right here below the nose, is rounded. So I added clay here when I started my nose to make sure that this area below the nose would be a little bit sticking out and rounded. So really, if you haven't already done that, then you need to add a little clay in that area to make sure that the area between the nose and underneath the nose and the butt and the lip are rounded and stick out a little bit further than the side cheeks, right? So basically that's where we're at. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure where, try to get this in a good view so I can work and you can see. Now we're going to measure where the lips go in. And for me, I've measured on my face and one eye length below the nose, right? If you measure your eye and you go below your nose, it basically, it's, so I'll show you on my face. If you measure the eye and basically it's the opening of the mouth is where you'll land, one eye's distance below the nose. So what I do is I take my eye's distance here and I put be below my nose and I go like that, right? This is where the opening of my mouth should be. Okay? Looks really funny. So again, just to check it, I take one eye's distance and I put it below the nose to get the opening of the mouth. You can do that by using your stick as well if you prefer this method. This is a good come over here. A good measuring stick. So see how that works out and hits right about there. There. And I'm happy. So now to make the lips. I take some clay and I'm going to roll two small, since I'm sculpting myself, I really don't have, I have teeny tiny lips. Like, my lips are not big. Especially my upper lip is really small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll two blunt-ended cone shapes. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's like that. It's thicker on one side than the other. And now I'm going to make two that are approximately the same in thickness and in weight. I have two of them that are the same, right? I'm also going to measure the width of my mouth, and it's from the center of the eye straight down. So like where the pupil would be, if you could see it, it's the center straight down. And that gives me the width of my mouth, okay? From the center of the eyes straight down. Okay, I take these and I'm going to put them on the face like this. And then I'm going to size them. So right now they're ginormous and it looks a little silly. So I'm going to pull back some of the length equally on either side. And I'm going to look again and see if I've got a good space. Okay, so right now those are my upper lips, and I'm going to work upper lips and then lower lips. That's just how I prefer to do it. Some people do it all at once. I'm going to take my my rubber tip tools because my clay is wet. This is how I prefer to first work, was with the rubber tip tools, and then I move to harder tools as it gets more set up. I'm going to use the one that, oh, here's the camera. I'm going to use the one that looks like this. Okay. I'm going to start from the top up and I'm going to smoosh it in. Like that. Same on this side. Okay. Now I flatten the top like that. I'm still mushing. Da, da, da. And I'm gonna adhere down here to the corners of the mouth. And flatten the front. I want to work on that shape of that lip. This one needs to come in a little. Right now, it's funny looking. Please don't judge quite yet because we are gonna smooth that into the face. Blending this into the face. What, Miss West? That looks funny. I know. Just give it some time. Right below here, I'm going to make sure that philtrum is right there. So I'm going to switch to the roundy guy. And I'm going to set in that philtrum. Right? It's a little aggressive, but again, I will make up for it. I'm really trying to slope this here to here, and then I kind of okay. Gonna remeasure. It's just that mine needs to be moved down a little bit. So I'm pushing it down, and then I'm gonna come back and set the underneath the lip. I use the flat one, and again, my lips are not very thick on the top, so you're gonna see this line here. You may need to push further up to get a a larger lip, but my lip is, to say the best. I got teeny tiny lips. So I just push this up to make the lip itself visible. Okay. Try to smooth that in. Okay, now I have a good start for the bottom lip. Now, typically, the bottom lip sticks out further than the top lip. And most people, but you really have to notice that on your pictures because, like, mine barely does. Again, I have no lips. So, you know, do noticing. But typically, in most cases, the bottom lip sticks out further than the top. Like, everybody's a little different. So I make a coil and I check its size. Now, that's okay, but it's a little bit on the long side. So I'm going to trim a little bit on each side, and I'm going to roll it again until it's thinner and tapered. But see how what I've rolled there is a coil that looks like a slug. It has a thinner edge on either side, just like your lips do. So I've made that intentionally like this. So now I'm able to add this to the chin or the bottom lip, and then construct it into the face. Now realize that it's going to look bigger at first because I am going to smush it in, and two, that that you may need to slip and score. I'm gonna pull these up a little bit. I'm kind of doing a what if I really had the lips I wanted. Make them a little bigger. If I had injections into my lips to make them like the Kardashians. Okay, well, anyway, I just I shouldn't play around too much because I'm going to fix it anyway. So anyway, you may need to score and add some water there if your sculpture is dry. Mine's okay, I don't really need to, but I did just in case so you can see. And then I'm going to add this on. It's a little long there, so I'm going to just pull a little clay off. There we go. Now it's all about molding it in. So I take this and I mean, you can do it with whatever tool you want, but this is a nice quick way of you know, like, can you see from the side? Like, what I've done is just sort of mold that lip in, and I'm gonna continue to do that. And I really need to make sure that I round it as I work, because the tricky part is like what the biggest mistake everybody makes when they're doing this is they have their lips flat, like they look like what can I say, they don't go in on the sides, they lay flat on the head, and that's absolutely the wrongest thing. You want them to curve back, so you even take more clay off as you curve back. So see how I take that clay and I use it to like shape the sides of the faces. Now these lips are gonna need to come in and back and down. So I like to use these tools for the mouth. My mouth in the corners down here it turns down and like that. So I have this weird, like, I don't know what they call that, but I also have a fat cheek that comes in through here. So I'm going to add clay to this eventually to build it out, but I'm going to just get the shape first of my lip. And oops, that's frustrating when you do that. I am going to have to add some clay to my chin, not the it needs to stick out a little bit further here. So I get my little it's like a so now it's really about just shaping. And I will shape and shape and shape until I'm happy with my lip. And right now it sticks out a little far, so I have to look from the front and from the sides. Like I move it back and forth, and I really measure with my visually measure. I'm not measuring with a measuring stick this time, but I visually measure, like, is it the same on this side? Does it stick out too far? Like, how is that going? Where's the edge of the lip? My lip comes down pretty far here. Oh. So I like the lip for the most part, but I need some stuff to happen down here. So I'm going to take care of that because this is too flat. And so I need to add some clay right there, which I'm going to just kind of I have a more rounded chin at the end of my jawline. I'm not really trying to make it longer down here. Like, I'm just trying to have it stick out a little bit. It's a little flat, and that shape needs to happen around the mouth to make it look right, to make it look like it fits the shape of my mouth. These are all those personalization things that you start to do as you move on and through. But so this needs to come out like that. I start to add it. I start to look for symmetry. I'm not quite there yet. Right. So the mouth is really a lot about what the structure is around the mouth too. That will give you a lot of its character. I'm roughly adding this so that I can come back and tweak that mouth. Then I have a lot more cheek fat that needs to be added to the side of the mouth. It's almost like I have little jowls that I need to add. So I'm just visually adding that clay, and I'm going to continue to refine this. Okay, I'm gonna take a break, just about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna let this sit up just a hair. Then I'm gonna come back and do some more tweaking when I have fresh eyes, and when the clay is a little bit harder for me to work with. It's pretty close, but like I keep mushing the edge of the lip, like I'm trying to define that edge of the lip and make them even, and it's pretty wet. So like I have it in place, But what I need to do is let it sit up and then come back and do some fine tuning. So, I mean, right? So the lip is there. It's just not quite refined. Like most of my features aren't quite refined yet. Like, but there's still some work to do. Okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to leave this kind of half bagged, leaving the mouth open so this gets a little bit stiffer like this is. And then I'll come back and do some fine tuning.